You're standing in a hostel kitchen in Bangalore. It's your third day in India, and you're trying to ask the guy at the front desk if your package arrived. He looks at you. His head moves. Not up and down, not side to side. Something in between. A kind of wobble. A tilt that rolls from one shoulder to the other. You have no idea what just happened. You ask again, slower this time, like that's the problem. Did my package arrive? The wobble again, maybe a little faster. His expression is perfectly calm, almost friendly. You stand there, frozen, running through every possible interpretation. Was that a yes? A no? A maybe? Is he confused? Are you confused? You walk away with absolutely no idea whether your package exists. That gesture you just saw? It's one of the most sophisticated communication tools ever developed by any culture on Earth. And you couldn't read it at all. The Indian head wobble, sometimes called the head bobble, is easily the most misunderstood gesture in human body language. To Western eyes, it looks like a glitch, like someone started to nod yes, but changed their mind halfway through, or shook their head no, but got distracted. But here's what's actually happening. That single wobble can mean yes, it can mean I understand, it can mean I agree, it can mean thank you, it can mean I'm listening, it can mean please continue. It can mean all of these things at once, layered on top of each other, communicated in a fraction of a second without a single word. It's not ambiguous, it's efficient. Think about how many separate gestures you use to communicate those same ideas. A nod for yes, a different nod for I understand, a thumbs up for agreement, a smile for thank you, a head tilt for I'm listening. The wobble does all of that simultaneously. It's a communication shortcut that took thousands of years to develop, and unless you grew up with it, you're functionally illiterate. But here's where it gets strange. The wobble isn't random. It has grammar. A slow, gentle wobble usually means acknowledgement. I hear you. I'm following along. Keep talking. A faster wobble tends to signal agreement or enthusiasm. Yes, absolutely, I'm with you. A single quick tilt might mean, sure, go ahead. The speed, the angle, the number of wobbles, they all carry information. Native speakers of this body language read these variations effortlessly, the same way you can tell the difference between someone saying fine when they mean it and fine when they absolutely do not. You've been reading faces your whole life. You just never learned this alphabet. And it gets weirder. The head wobble exists because Indian culture developed different rules about confrontation. In many Western contexts, directness is valued. You say yes or you say no. Clear, binary, efficient. But in South Asian communication traditions, direct refusal is often considered impolite. Bluntness can feel aggressive. Harmony in conversation matters more than precision. So the wobble evolved as a social tool, a way to keep conversations smooth, to acknowledge without committing, to agree in spirit without necessarily agreeing in specifics, to maintain connection even when there's uncertainty. It's not evasion, it's sophistication. It's a gesture designed to say, I am here with you in this conversation, and I want us both to leave feeling good about it. The wobble is optimized for relationship, not just information transfer. Here's the part nobody talks about. When Indians move abroad, to the US, to Australia, something strange happens. They start suppressing the wobble. Not consciously, at least not at first, but they notice. They notice the confused looks. Wait, was that a yes? The slight social friction that comes from using a gesture nobody around them can decode. So they adapt. They start nodding more, shaking their head more, using the binary yes-no system of their new environment. They learn to code switch their own body language. Think about that for a second. You've probably heard of code switching with language, how people shift between dialects or languages depending on who they're talking to. But this is code switching with your body, with movements so automatic you don't even know you're making them. Immigrants are literally reprogramming their nervous systems to fit into a new gestural culture. And most of them can't even articulate what they've changed because the original gesture was never conscious in the first place. They're editing software they didn't know they were running. But here's where it gets deep. The head wobble is spread across South Asia, India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan. Over 1.5 billion people use some variation of this gesture. That's roughly 20% of humans on Earth communicating with a body language system that the other 80% literally cannot read. And here's the thing, it's not just them. Every culture has gestures like this, movements that feel completely natural to insiders and completely invisible or unreadable to outsiders. Greeks have a quick upward nod that means no. Bulgarians nod for no and shake their head for yes, the exact opposite of most of the world. Italians have an entire vocabulary of hand gestures that can carry full conversations. Japanese bowing has depths of meaning based on angle and duration that most Westerners can't perceive. We walk around assuming body language is universal, that a smile means happy and a frown means sad, and a nod means yes everywhere on the planet. It doesn't. We're all running cultural software so deep we forgot it was installed. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. Think about every interaction you've ever had with someone from a different culture. Every conversation where something felt slightly off, where you couldn't quite tell if they agreed with you or were just being polite, where their body language seemed muted or confusing or somehow wrong. Now consider the possibility that they were communicating perfectly, fluently, with a gestural vocabulary as rich and precise as anything you know. And you just couldn't read it. You were the illiterate one in that conversation. You were the one missing the information. The static wasn't coming from them. It was coming from you. We tend to think of miscommunication as a content problem. Someone used the wrong words. Someone didn't explain clearly. But a huge amount of human communication isn't words at all. It's the tilt of a head, the speed of a nod, the angle of a hand. And we have no idea how much we're missing because we don't know what we don't know. You can't see the edges of your own fluency. The head wobble is just the most visible example, but it points to something much bigger. Every human you meet is running a different version of the software. Different gestures, different meanings, different defaults for what counts as polite, engaged, interested, rude. And we're all walking around assuming everyone else is running the same program. They're not. Communication isn't transmission, it's translation, and we've never been as good at it as we think. So, you're back in that hostile kitchen. The guy at the front desk wobbles his head again. But now you see it differently. You see thousands of years of cultural evolution in that movement. A sophisticated system for maintaining harmony. A gesture that carries more information in a single tilt than you could convey in a full sentence. You still don't know if your package arrived, but you know something more important now. You were never confused because the gesture was unclear. You were confused because you were trying to read a language you'd never been taught. And somewhere out there, someone is watching you nod and having the exact same experience. Every culture has its invisible alphabets. The head wobble is one. But your body is speaking languages you've never questioned, sending signals you've never examined, assuming universal understanding that doesn't exist. Most of human communication isn't in the words, it's in the space between them, the gestures, the timing, the silence. And almost none of it translates cleanly. The real question isn't why Indians wobble their heads. The real question is, what are you doing with your body right now that feels like nothing to you and looks like everything to someone else? We're all fluent in languages we didn't choose and illiterate in ones we didn't know existed. Oh, If this is the kind of thing your brain does at 2 a.m., you're in the right place. Subscribe. There's more where this came from.